Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me. I mean, I need to come here, but when it comes to the issues of registration and the numbers in our elections, this is a very important moment in our election. So follow me carefully, everyone, because INEC is on the program to explain some of these issues. I'm being joined by Mr. Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner of INEC on voter registration. Now, of course, you know what INEC has said. The Independent National Electoral Commission has disclosed that it found 1,126,359 records out of the 2,523,458 fresh registrants that registered between June 28, 2021 and January 14, 2022 to be invalid. 1,126,359 are now invalid, and consequently, INEC has delisted those numbers. Now, the commission said that it also detected several double, multiple and ineligible registrants and has consequently invalidated them, adding that this includes entries that fail to meet the commission's business rule. Meanwhile, a socio-political group under the aegis of Coalition of United Political Party, the CUPP, is asking INEC to assure Nigerians of its commitment in conducting a free and fair election. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the spokesperson, Ikenga Ugochinyere, says it has a clear evidence put in place by the ruling APC to rig the 2023 elections, with the recent discovery of fake permanent voter cards with some of them names of foreigners on some of these cards, has now asked INEC to ensure a free and fair election in 2023. So when the news came that INEC had invalidated and delisted some registration, a lot of people were talking. Let's get the reactions of INEC. So if you look at what INEC has said, and let's put figures to the statement INEC released, it means that in the fresh registration, which was between 28th of June 2021 and 14th of January 22, this is not the entire registration at the time. Don't forget, it was 12 million that INEC says were the new registrants. And if you remember vividly, I told you that these figures will consistently change as INEC fine-tunes its records, because this, historically, we followed how these things happen. Out of that, INEC said it has deregistered and delisted or invalidated 1,126,359, which brings us to a newly completed based on this window. Don't forget, there is this window. There is also the window between January and to the last moment when INEC stopped the CVR. So don't forget, these are very important dates and figures that you need to keep to heart. Now, 1,397,099 are the figures that are valid from those figures. So almost half of those figures are gone because of some reasons I will show you much later. Now, in 2019, we had 84 million registered voters. So if we put it together for what we had the last time, the 12 million INEC release that says that there were new registrants in the whole of the CVR exercise, it gives you 96 million. But minus the 1,126,359, it comes to 95 million. It will still go down the more because INEC today again has said it has also delisted and invalidated more figures. We'll be hearing from INEC in a moment. Now, so that is where the figures takes us, 95 million so far, and it's going to go down more, I promise you. Now, this is the process in which INEC, or the reasons INEC is given for the delisting and invalidation of some of these figures. They include double registration. If you're one of those who registered twice, this is one of the reasons. Multiple registration. There are some people who registered even more than 2 times. There are people who are ineligible. What are the eligibility for registration? You'll find out later. There are entries which failed INEC business rule because of some reasons. It might be because of the capturing. It might be because of some reasons best known to INEC based on their business rules. Let's listen to Mr. Festus Okoye on some of these issues. Thank you so much, Mr. Okoye, for joining us. first and foremost, before I get you into the business of what you did with these figures and the questions Nigerians are asking, there was a breaking news earlier today of a former minister of the Niger Delta Affairs who you and APC have been going back and forth on his matter. The court has asked INEC to put his name on the ballot. That's Senator Godswill Akpabio. What is the latest coming from INEC? Have you received that judgment of court?
Well, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the national commissioners of the commission are not within a jurisdiction. They are not in Abuja at present. And as you know, the commission relies on the certified true copy of court judgments and court orders before it can act. So we don't base our decisions on newspaper reports or on reports from the radio or television. We base our judgment and our decisions on concrete evidence based on certified true copy of a court judgment or a court order. So as of today, the national commissioners and the chairman are not within jurisdiction. So we have not received anything and we have not been served with anything where we are.
So of course, when you get it, of course, I know INEC will obey, isn't it?
Well, when we get the judgment, definitely the court will look at, the commission will look at the specifics of the judgment, have a clear understanding of what transpired in court, and also have a clear understanding of the orders that the court has made and what is expected of us. And then we will study the judgment and see whether it is still within the purview of what the commission can concede. If it is not within the purview of what the commission can concede, then the commission will take it up. But based on our processes and based on our procedures and also based on our rules, we respect court orders because under Section 287 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are a public trust, we are a public institution, and we are bound to obey orders from properly constituted courts of law. But we have to receive the judgment, study the judgment, understand what has transpired in relation to the matter, and then make a decision on what the court expects us to do, and also make a decision whether the commission will appeal against such a judgment or such an order. But until we receive such a court order or such a judgment, the commission will meet and take a decision on what to do. But as of today, we have not received any court order or court judgment.
Now, let's move away from that. There's another quick issue that I'd like you to touch on, and this is the matter relating to the BVAS and its use for 2023 elections. Are you aware of any move by any politician in whatever political party or any political party making any move? Have they approached you about their inconvenience or their dissatisfaction with the use of BVAS to the extent that there are talks about or reports that there are, allegations that there are some politicians who are not comfortable with the BVAS and they are planning to stop it using the court. Now, you're a lawyer. Give us a sense of how concrete or how much that law, that BVAS, that device is being captured in our laws. Is it identified by the electoral law? It's not captured in the Constitution, but the Constitution empowers INEC. But what is the fate of BVAS? Should it be challenged in court?
Well, you see, the BVAS is an in-house device that was designed by engineers based in the commission. In other words, it was designed by the commission's engineers based on our own specifications and also based on the fact that we recognize the fact that technology is evolving and that the technology moves forward and does not travel backwards. And so we needed the technology that is a 3-in-1. Now, if you look at the BVAS itself, for the purposes of voter registration, we call it the IVED, INEC voter enrollment device. And so we use it for the purposes of voter enrollment. During election, we call it the BVAS, and we use it for purposes of voter accreditation and verification. Now, it also does result upload into our INEC result viewing portal. So it's a 3-in-1 device designed by our INEC engineers and then fabricated outside the country for the use of the commission. Now, arising from the challenges of the 2015 general election and the 2019 general election relating to the BVAS, the Supreme Court made a determination that the smart card reader is a very, very good device for purposes of accreditation, but it was not backed up by the law. So when the Electoral Act was being amended, the commission went before both houses of the National Assembly to canvass a specific domiciling of the BVAS and the smart card reader in the Electoral Act. So if you look at the Electoral Act, it says that the commission shall use the smart card reader or any other technological device for the purposes of accreditation of voters to verify and authenticate that the person who has come to the polling unit on election day is a duly registered voter whose name is on the voters register and who has a permanent voters card. So the BVAS is domiciled within the confines of the Electoral Act 2022, and we do not have any fear whatsoever in relation to its validity and in relation to the legality of the BVAS and other technological and electronic devices we are using for the election.
So for the sake of assurances and clarity, tonight you are telling us that no matter what any politicians think or feel, BVAS will be used in 2023 and it's almost cast in stone, is it?
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has given the Independent National Electoral Commission the exclusive right, the exclusive power, and the exclusive mandate to organize, undertake, and supervise elections that are captured within the confines and ambit of the Constitution. And that's exactly what we are going to continue to do. We are accountable to the people of this country, and the people of this country have accepted the BVAS as a game changer in our electoral process, and we cannot, under any circumstance, go back on the use of the BVAS for the purposes of voter accreditation, and we can also not go back on the issue of transmitting polling unit level results into our INEC result viewing portal. These two devices and these two mechanisms and these two protocols are sacrosanct, and the Commission is committed to using them during the 2023 general election.
So legally speaking, anybody that is planning to challenge the BVAS in court should kill the idea. INEC is going to go ahead. That's the assurance that you're giving Nigerians tonight.
Well, you must also recognize that 3 national commissioners are over 25 years post-call as lawyers. One of them is even a professor of law and a senior advocate. And we have over 4 senior advocates as staff of the commission. And we have so many lawyers in the commission. And so we do not have fears whatsoever relating to anybody taking us to court. Anybody who takes us to court based on our business rules, based on our processes, we are going ready to meet the person in court. So we have no fears whatsoever.
I love it when lawyers both bring it on. Like they say, Sudi B in law. Lawyers know how they say it. But interesting, and it perhaps put to bed those who are nursing the fear that there are plans to suffocate or kill the idea of BVAS going into 2023 election. Now, let's come to the figure. You may not like it, Mr. Okoye, but the fact that some Nigerians are worried, first and foremost, clarify for us, can Nigerians begin to track the progress or their cards on your website? Is it possible for anybody to be able to do that? Can they be able to see their cards, the way and manner in which it's being, whether it's ready for collection, is ready for, it's being produced, what the status and how they can collect it? Is that possible, Mr. Okoye?
Sure, you must recognize the fact that the proprietary right in the voter's card resides with the Independent National Electoral Commission. The Independent National Electoral Commission is the only agency and the only organ and the only commission that has been given the right to design and print the permanent voters' cards of registrants. Now, the truth of the matter, and as you pointed out when we started, is that we already have 84 million Nigerians who are on the voters' register, whose names and particulars are only already on the voters' register. Now, you are talking about those who engage in the continuous voters registration exercise, which we commenced on the 28th day of June 2021 and terminated on the 31st day of July 2022. These are the people you are talking about. Now, we carried out the CVR based on our own processes and based on our procedures in relation to 4 quarters. For each of those quarters, we displayed the preliminary voters register in every local government area in the 774 local government areas of the country. For the fourth quarter, which also encompassed the registration we did between the first day of July and the 31st day of July, we displayed the voters register, the preliminary voters register in all the local government areas between the 15th to 21st day of August 2022 for people to make claims and objections. Now, but having said that, I want to make it clear that the commission has not added any person's name to the voters register. That as of today, our voters register still remains at 84 million. This is because we have not concluded action on those who registered during this CVR. We are presently doing the cleanup exercise in relation to the those who registered during this CVR. It is only when we finish that we are going to print their permanent voters cards, and then we will integrate both the old and the new, and then we will display in the 774 local government areas of Nigeria and in the 8,809 registration areas for claims and objections. So as of today, no new voter, no new registrant has been added into the voters register because we have not completed the cleanup exercise of the voters register.
So give us a sense, because some of the discrepancy that is being seen, you see some pictures with a man and against a woman's name. And you definitely see a picture of someone who obviously look like a man. In some other climes, one might be confused, but in Nigeria, I'm not sure, it's so rampant that you see a woman and has the gender on the opposite. So some of these issues, would they be cleaned up? Are there obvious discrepancies? Or what exactly is happening? With some of these pictures of your register flying around, it calls to a question about the validity or the integrity of the voter register by INEC.
No, there's no issue of the validity and the integrity of the register. I have told you that no new registrant has been added to the voters register. We have been very, very transparent. We have displayed for the continuous voters registration exercise, the moment we are done with a particular quarter, we display the preliminary voters register in the 774 local government areas of the Federation for claims and objections. And then thereafter, the data is moved to our headquarters, where we are using our automated fingerprint identification system, ABIS, for purposes of identifying double and multiple registrants. Not only identifying multiple and double registrants, we are also doing what we call adjudication. If there are some pictures that are not clear, we do manual adjudication and look at those pictures. If the picture of a male appears against the name of a female, we do manual adjudication to find out why that should be the case. If there's a name that does not look Nigerian, we do manual adjudication to find out why that should be the case. So it is the adjudication that we are doing presently, and also cleaning up the voters register before we will display in the 8,809 registration areas and in the 774 local government areas for claims and objections, before anybody can now successfully say that he or she has been added to the voters register. Let me remind you that before the Anambra governorship election, that we did continuous voters registration exercise. And when we finished, a total of 134,865 registrants registered. Out of this number, 58,761 were invalid registrants, and we removed them from the register. We also did the FCT area council elections. Out of the 42,986 that registered, 14,640 were invalid registrants, and we removed them. We also did the Ekiti governorship election. Out of the 124,963 that registered, 47,633 were invalid registrants, and we removed them. When we went for the Osun governorship election, 360,674 registered. Out of this number, 92,013 were invalid, and we removed them. So there is no smoking gun here. These are the things we have been doing. I believe that the commission is doing very, very well in terms of cleaning up the voters register, and also in terms of making sure that we are transparent and have a voters register.
There will be a lot of cleaning up that you need to do at the commission, Mr. Okoye, because I will forward this to you so that, I mean, this is a public knowledge. In a polling unit, virtually everyone on that polling register were born in 1983. I mean, is it coincidence that everybody on that list are born in 1983? And those who are, anyone born in 1983 is probably 39 years of age. But if you look at the pictures, they are looking 70. They are looking 60 years of age. I'll forward this to you because when you say there will be cleanup, Nigerians will want to know how far the cleanup will go. And in fact, how did these kind of error happen so much that everybody in a polling unit were born in the same year? And you find men with gender female against their names.
Yes, I understand what you are saying. Some few minutes ago, an hour ago, I released a statement relating to some of these issues. And I informed you that, for instance, in Oru East local government area, that out of those who registered, that we have already removed and invalidated 3,316 ineligible registrants. And I've also informed you that we are doing cleanup using our ABIs to remove multiple and double registrants. We are not only using technology to do that, we're also doing what we call manual adjudication. If we see a name or a picture that is suspicious, we do manual adjudication and then see whether such a picture matches the age bracket of the individual. If we see a male picture recorded against a female picture, we invalidate it. And so we are doing a lot of cleanup exercise. But the question is, the fundamental thing is that this particular commission has been very, very transparent. And I'm telling you that for every quarter, we displayed the preliminary voters register in all the local governments, calling on people to come and check to see whether there are anomalies and to see whether there are ineligible registrants in that particular voters register, so that these things can be pointed out. And at the end of the day, we are still going to display the entire voters register for claims and objections. And we plead with Nigerians to take a look at this voters register and then point out people who are deceased, point out people who are not eligible to be on the voters register, and assist the commission to have a very clean voters register. It's a multi-stakeholder venture, and Nigerians have to assist in making sure that we have a very good voters register.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okoye, for your time tonight, for the clarification that you have made on some of these issues. I know it's going to go a long way to educate and help Nigerians make a sense of what is ahead of them. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Okoye, for your time tonight.
I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. But don't forget, this is very important, wherever you may be watching, in 2019, this was how the demographies across the voting population, this was how it stood. Look at it. People of 70 years and above, 3.69% were their population on the voting, on the register, and the people with the highest, a group of people, are the young people, who are at 51%. They are the people between age 18 and 43 in 2019. And you will see some level of change here in 2022. Now, in the 2022, there is a significant rise in the willingness of young people. If you look at it, from 18 to 43 years of age, there's 71%. Telling you one thing, that young people this time around seems to be ready. But how ready are they? Because not only that you went to register, you must collect your PVC. Not only that, you must go out on election day to vote. That is how you can make this number, which is very significant. This is how you make it count.